I'm at a conference in San Antonio and taking a break, getting in the hot tub, and one of the things, I've done a live video about this before, but one of the things that keeps coming up in my mind is about hope. And it's just so strongly on my heart and on my mind, and it keeps coming up and over again. So I want you to sit with me, process this, and I want to know what you get out of it and what it stimulates your mind to think. So I was talking to my brother, and we were talking about depression, we were talking about resilience, and I was telling him that my thoughts are that depression, using that word liberally in the sense of if you can say clinical depression or oppression, any spectrum of sadness to the point where it affects some part of your life. And I was telling him that I believe that depression can be addressed with resilience, and that resilience, the tools for resilience, or the fuel for resilience, is vulnerability. And in order to be capable of vulnerability, you must have hope. Vulnerability and resilience is something that Dr. Brené Brown talks about in several of her books and several of her talks. I'm sure she has talked about hope before as well. But I digress. Hope is something that is affected. Our hope is affected by the messages we are receiving. I'm going to say it again. Our hope is affected by the messages we are receiving. Our hope is the level of our hope, the amount of to what degree that we agree with hope in our lives is directly affecting how much we have energy to engage in our lives, and how much we are effectively engaging in our lives. Without hope, there is a loss of desire for life. And on every level, within every spectrum of engagement. So we're talking about end of life, we're talking about deciding to go to the grocery store and make meals versus ordering out. We're talking about going to the gym. We're talking about self-care. We're talking about positive boundaries, healthy relationships, and how much we're willing to turn the TV off, turn any form of entertainment off, and decide to think inside our brains, feel inside our bodies, and ask ourselves hard questions. Asking yourself hard questions, Tony Robbins said, that's the best thing that you can do. That's not a direct quote, that's generalization. Tony Robbins said, the quality of your life is directly affected by the quality of the answer of the questions you're asking yourself. And I'm going to take it a step further and say it is directly affected, the quality of your life is directly affected by the quality of the questions you're asking yourself and the degree to which you are willing to find the answers to those questions. How much pain are you willing to put yourself through? How much uncomfortable moments, tears, and searching are you willing to apply to answering the tough questions you've had the courage to ask yourself? And guess what? All of those things take hope. To engage in difficult conversations with someone else or with yourself requires a series of hope, vulnerability, resilience, and all of those things will help you gain maturity and ability to do hard things. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, well, if it all starts with hope, then how do you gain more hope? Where is your key there? The way that you gain more hope is the messages that you're receiving. It's not the first time someone has said this, but I'm going to say it in my way. I'm going to say it in Brittany way. Your body, your soul is an antenna, and it is picking up on the messages around you, the messages your parents have told you your whole life, the messages you allow your friends to speak into your life, the messages you speak to yourself, not to mention all of the subconscious messages that are coming in through the airwaves, through the shows you watch, through the podcasts you listen to, and the whatever energy is coming up through the air, right? And so I'm asking then, what's the next step of this series of questions? Okay, hope is directly connected to the messages you are receiving. You are a receiver, like a radio is a receiver. You have a speaker. You are announcing things. You are speaking them out loud. And I hesitate to say speaking them into existence because that phrase has been taken and ran with. But you are agreeing with things out of your voice, right? So if your hope is directly associated with the messages that you are receiving, how do you change your receiver? How do you change your frequency tune? How do you retune? How do you adjust what you are willing to receive? Well, now we've opened another box. But it's important to ask the question, even if we don't have a direct answer. I'm telling you, when you ask the question and you open yourself up to the willingness of at least having the answer come to you, that's a big step. It's painful to ask those questions. It's painful to ask them because there's not ever a guarantee that you're going to get an answer. Asking the question in and of itself requires vulnerability. Asking the question in the first place requires a shred of hope, a mustard seed of faith, if you will, that you are going to eventually get that answer. And now my mind is thinking about community. Now my mind is thinking about when you don't have the hope, when you don't have the faith, when you don't have the resilience, when you don't have a shred of energy left. And if that energy is dependent on more energy, then how in the world does more hope, resilience, vulnerability, energy into your life, the company you keep, the messages they're saying, and any outside resource that you can change to get that message of hope into your mind, into your psyche, is what needs to happen. It even takes energy to change the channel, doesn't it? But something's got to change. Something's got to give. Any kind of low point, any kind of depression, any kind of... I'm going to remove the word depression from that particular sentence because of where I'm going with it. I believe that we need low places in our lives. Speaking from experience, if you've been following my story. We need low places in our lives because those low places are a catalyst for us making new choices, evaluating and reevaluating and digging deeper into our lives, and telling and reminding ourselves it's been easy, it's been fun, it's been comfortable, but it's not good enough anymore. I'm ready to go higher, I'm ready to go deeper, I'm ready to push myself a little bit more. And so if you are going through a low place in your life right now, and if you're not, you will. That's okay. Embrace that low place and tell yourself you've done nothing bad. You are not being punished. You are experiencing a blessing. You are being given the opportunity to evaluate, reevaluate, and make changes. So there's no punishment involved. All there is opportunity to move forward, to do better, and to especially surround yourself with people who will also believe that, who believe good things are happening, good things are coming, and that they are worth, and here's where I really wanted to go with all of this, they are worth receiving good things. You are worth receiving good things. Things that elevate your circumstances. You are worthy of it. You are worthy. How else can I say that? You are a receiver either way. You are receiving something either way. You are a vessel. You are a vessel of receiving, period. All day long you're receiving something. What are you going to choose to engage with? What are you going to choose to receive? That's my question. Think about that for a second. Really think about it. How are you going to process that? You can't just know the answer in a split second and move on. You're never going to get anywhere doing that. You're never going to improve your life by not doing the work, the internal work of asking questions and then really actually trying to answer those questions. And if you need to reach out for help, do it. If you need help answering the hard questions, good for you. Don't try to do it on your own. That's not working. I think that's all I wanted to say right now. I'm sure more thoughts will be building off of this one, but I needed to get that out. Thank you for listening. Contact me if you need me.